sunk an enemy destroyer.
Hey team, it's Ripper here. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. We are in the Druid, a really fun video, versus Zhao versus Hakuryu. Very cool, spoiler alert, but it's really awesome. I hope you enjoy it. But before we begin, if you guys like this the channel and see that you get value out of what we're doing here, please like, subscribe, bell button below. Appreciate all the support. At 2,000 subs, giving a free premium DD giveaway. Can't wait to do that, and we're looking forward to it. So let's get right to it. Druid, starting at the map Sleeping Giant, and we are starting on the south side here. And as always on the channel, we always like to talk about tactics, techniques, and procedures that really help you out your gameplay. Again, I am no expert at all. I'm not really that good, excellent of a player. I just have about a 50% win rating, but hey, you know what? I've played it so much that I really enjoy the tactics and the techniques, and I'm, being the military instructor, I like to talk about these, and it's really fun. So I hope any kind of thoughts right here helps you with your game to improve it, and to also you guys come up with ideas as well. For me to say that I know everything it means that I'm ignorant, and of course I'm always learning every single day. So let's see how this would work. So if we're on the south side here, what would be the best technique for me as a destroyer player? So if you're a destroyer player, what is your role? Your role is one, to spot the enemy, right? Like you have the best concealment in the game besides just, the dreaded subs. So you get to move up into positions, and let me draw this so you can visualize this. You need to move up into positions that allow you to get in as close as possible without being detected, so that you can spot the enemy ships, whether they be over here, here, or here, out in the distance here. And your team can't spot, but it's better for you to spot because you can see further, you can see faster. You're going up and not being detected, so you can do it free will without being destroyed. The other role as you as a destroyer player is you're supposed to cap, the points. Your role is to cap the points that win the game. Now, most of the games are like this. They're, I think they're called domination or capture the point, whatever it is called in your place. But you basically, I remember domination Call of Duty. That's how I remember it. But you capture the point, hold it, and you get points, right? Now, again, I've always said you don't win the game by capping first. You win the game by holding the points the longest and surviving the longest, right? So what are we going to do? So that's the two roles that you are doing as a good destroyer player. The third role is also hunting destroyer players. Again, you don't want their destroyers to get the advantage of coming in, being undetected, and torping and spotting your enemy team from a long distance, allowing the enemy to shoot at your friendly ships without them being able to return fire immediately or being able to do any kind of effective spotting or I would say covering of an area, because having a DD out spotting everybody and then smoking them up really causes a problem for your friendly team because they can't really do much in return if they can't see something, or they can't return fire, or if they're not in a position to effectively maneuver and fire as well. So the biggest thing right now I always say is the beginning is position, position, position. You cannot correct poor positioning, okay? So like I said, the biggest one is a destroyer. You're supposed to go in and spot. So I elect to go, and this is just for my technique only. You guys can come up with your own. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Sleeping Giant. My first technique is if I'm on the alpha side, I'm going to go outside of the cap and maybe west of it and leave the cap alone for now. Because if you do, this is what I've seen. If I drive into right here, most of the time there are radar cruisers in the map. They'll park right, probably like right here, right here, right here. And then guess what? You are in their radar range. You're spotted, you're lit up, and you're shot from along another angle. So another problem is angle of fire. So if you see here, I can get shot out from over here, here, and here, multiple angles of fire that I can't get out because there's no escape route for me. If I wanted to, I can't just turn right in the island. All I have to do is just drive straight ahead and speed into A, and that's a death trap right there. Or if I like to bail on it, if I'm turning right here and turn around, I'm getting shot out right there as well. So very, very dangerous choke point right there. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is go head to the west side of this island using cover, and I can, again, be very effective by spotting from this angle right here. It gives me two options. Either I can shoot whatever's coming this way, or if I want to bail, I can pop smoke or in retreat. And I always teach guys, hey, you have to have an avenue of escape. You have to exit strategy, because if you don't and you're stuck and you're screwed, you pretty much sacrifice your health and you're dead for the rest of the game, and you're useless to your team if you're dead, right? So that's my thought right there. After proceeding and just maybe either spotting, capping, or even destroying, look, I can shoot from here and here at this cruiser that's camping, or I can shoot at anybody who's coming in here, especially a Druid player, because guess what? You have one of the fastest AP shells in the game, the best ricochet angles, and really, really significant damage, good AP shells, focus highly on guns, and you have smoke. It really is very, very effective against light cruisers, maybe some types of cruisers, battleships including, and as well, also shooting destroyers as well. You are a destroyer hunter killer. So that's the strategy for A. Now, what about B? What if I'm in the middle here? Let me move. Let me move the destroyer symbol here. Let's say I start here normally if I'm in the south. If I'm in the south in this map, I would completely ignore B altogether. Why? Like I've always said that, if you're in the middle, you're getting shot at from multiple angles. I mean, you literally are getting shot at from both sides. You see, and especially as a destroyer player, you are singled out every single time. It's not because, hey, oh, that's Ripper, he's a YouTuber, shoot him first. No, it's literally any destroyer player is a juicy target. When they're caught alone, they're spotted for at least a time being, and you're going to get shot from multiple angles if you go in the middle. Again, see, it's very, very difficult to mitigate angles of fire if you're in the middle of everything when everybody's shooting at the front line in the center right there. So I think it's very bad to go into Bravo. So I usually, my personal opinion, I say avoid it altogether. So what you do is you either pick a side, go to A or C. You're going to find out which side's the weakest. And I personally go to the weakest side because I want to help out my team. I don't want to abandon a flank and give them that flank for free. So if I'm in the middle, I'll either choose A or Charlie. Now, let's say if you already know what I want on Alpha, let's talk about Charlie. Oops, it's here. Correct symbol there. All right, so let's say we start over at Charlie. Normally, I've seen destroyer players will either be on the far east side of this island. So what I do as a destroyer, since I'm an open DD gunboat person, especially in a Druid, a Vampire, or somebody that, or like a Hakuryu, or somebody that has a lot of fast-firing guns, I normally will go out here to the flanks and wait. And I kind of want to see, what does the enemy team do? Does the enemy team foolishly want to just go mano a mano with me right now and I take out destroyer player? That's good. Or does the enemy team actually want to try and test the waters at Charlie and break out? And again, I let them have Charlie right off the bat because what I can do is, now that I take the advantage, I want to flank the enemy. If I want to go in and flank and push forward, I have the option to shoot. If I want to bail out, I have an exit strategy. Or if I want to continue spotting my team, they can shoot, get the enemy team to hide behind these islands or whatever, and I can actually torp or go back into Charlie on the exit route and then cap Charlie using island cover like that. That's my maneuver right there because it gives me many escape avenues. I can always bail out here, I can bail out here, I can bail out here. There's always an escape avenue at Charlie. Also, I have island cover as well. If I want to duck behind one of those, it allows me to cap Charlie, hold it, and then once the battle has progressed and they've lost half their team, I can then push in and cap Bravo. So those are the avenues. Same for Alpha. If I do cap Alpha, it's an easy strategy to go to Bravo. So Bravo is pretty much the last priority. We want to actually get and hold, maintain a flank, and then begin pushing in and flank Bravo or the center of the map from either opposing side, depending on the strength of the enemy. So let's see how this strategy actually works out. And again, this is just from the south on Sleeping Giant, but if you like it, let me know in the comments below. If you don't like it, what can we do to get better? So hope you like it. All right, team, here we are in the Tier 10 Druid. And a little historical background as we move into position from the south side on the western flank of Alpha. Historical info of the HMS Druid represents a hypothetical design for a super daring class of destroyer that was considered during the early 1950s. British experience with the tribal class destroyers had shown the value of large destroyers with a heavy gun armament, which could also be capable of filling some of the traditional cruiser roles. So the background was the super daring idea evolved from the British studies into creating a new type of multi-purpose escort ship. The emergence of the super Sularov class cruisers and the need for shore bombardment during the Korean War meant that the gunships were still needed by the Royal Navy in addition to ASW vessels, anti-submarine warfare. The Royal Navy's surviving Town and Crown colony-class cruisers would require extensive modernization in order to deal with the rapidly evolving aerial threats. Although it was realized that missiles would form the mainstay of future anti-aircraft defenses, the British Sea Slug system was too large to fit onto contemporary destroyer-sized vessels, and the cost with fully modernizing a cruiser was prohibitive in the cost of post-war economic climate. Initially, plans were drawn up for a modernized version of the Daring-class destroyer, as it was felt that two Daring-class destroyers would be successfully combat a cruiser type through the weight of gunfire whilst closing the launch torpedoes. Initial designs include a repeat version of the Daring class with minimal modifications, as well as proponents with improved propulsion plans. From June 1954, designs for the fast escort were drawn up, and possibly design rapidly changes as specific specifications were drawn up and found to be unattainable. By 1955, a gun-fast escort design for 4,500 tons had been developed, featuring 114mm guns at the expense of all ASW weapons. Although the intended 127mm gun design had been canceled, there was still hope that a simpler 127mm twin gun mount could still be developed. Eventually, plans for the Super Daring moved on, and a larger design of 48 tons was requested, and this would eventually lead to the County-class missile destroyer. Historically, 6 ships of the Royal Navy had been named the HMS Druid after the Druids of the Celtic religion. A daring class destroyer was planned to be the 7th ship, but her name was changed before construction to HMS Diana. So in the game, HMS Druid in World of Warships appears to represent a mix of the later super daring design without torpedo tubes, with the 127mm Mark N2 guns, which were historically canceled in 1953 and 1954. And as you can see, these guns are going and rocking and rolling in action right there. And as you can see, we're already racking up the damage. And again, the thing about that, the daring is, the Druid, the super daring that is, the Druid is just a beast to be reckoned with, because it is just a annoying thing out there that literally just can't be angled against because of the improved ricochet angles on the guns. And all it does is what it, focuses on the one thing it really enjoys doing, which is gun battles. I mean, it literally is just focused on these guns that are just 127mm improved pen angles that just have the, and especially if you build for it, build it's at the end of the video, by the way, you can see it's heavy AP shells, and look at the damage that you're getting on this thing. And imagine if you're just a battleship sailing and trying to turn around against this thing, and it's taking too long. But if these shells are coming out of one every second, you're taking off ship damage like 400, 500, 800. It really wears on a ship. I mean, that's why I think the meta today for battleships is very difficult, because you got these fast-firing destroyers, and here we are. We're doing our other role. We're going to take on another destroyer player. I mean, it's just look at this, the daring. Again, my sister ship, the daring versus the super daring. It's almost very, very annoying to deal with, and all the daring can do is really just pop smoke and evade, because the Druid is literally something that just goes in and attacks you head on, especially since it doesn't have torpedoes, so it doesn't focus on that. It just focuses on bow in, 2 guns in front, and if the guns survive, I mean, the downside of the 2 front gun system is only 2 guns. That's all you have to defend yourself with. If you knock those out, which is how you go against a Druid, knock out its guns, it's pretty much defenseless. It has nothing left to do but ram, and that is how you go up against a Druid player. So the Druid has no other defense other than it's got to charge in or run away. So right now we're electing to charge in because we got confidence. Look what we talked about. Like, we talked about pushing the western flank of Alpha. You spot their team, get them shot at, get them taken down, and then you go after the destroyer. You did everything you did as for your teammates right here. They are now going to use their HP and their armor and firepower to go into Alpha and Cap. I feel a bit safer having a cruiser and battleship go in there. And we're pushing that destroyer out of the way so that he cannot do any more damage to our team or spot or torp. So again, that is our counter DD play, counter, and very bad at submarine warfare. There is a submarine on in this map, but he's not on our side, so we can push a little heavier and faster. I don't recommend pushing submarines at this moment in destroyers. I think Flamu did a video that there is a new kind of like a radar for submarines coming out. It's like a 7-kilometer ASW surveillance thing. It's coming. I don't know if it's going to be given to destroyers. I think Wargaming would not do that because it would give us a huge advantage, and they don't want to give an advantage to a submarine player. But I digress. We are now going to continue the push way up into the north and continue the ingress into the enemy spawn and see if we can brood out any other flanks. Now, you can see, again, what are the key components of being a good destroyer player? You're always on the move. You're not sitting still. You're not a camper. You're not a person that's supposed to be tanking damage. You're supposed to be on the move constantly, pushing caps, pushing flanks, pushing destroyers, pushing submarines, pushing carriers even. And then you're also trying to take damage as much as you can on some unsuspecting player that hopefully doesn't shoot at you. The most of the time you're trying to mitigate damage because you don't have as much health as other ships do. So, for example, I would have been shooting at this Puerto Rico if I wasn't pre-engaged so much to this daring right now. Again, he gets bombed by the Malta anyways. CVs are overpowered, whatever. But good job on the carrier there to spot. Now look what we're doing. We're also spotting the carrier. So now that we spot the carrier, we can then help guide shells onto it, or we can go attack it ourselves. So again, we're doing very, very much the role of a destroyer player. So many things that we're covering right now. And now we're also continuing to push the destroyer player out of the region. Because remember, we started off with only 2 destroyers. So if you eliminate 2 destroyers, which is easy, you pretty much give your team a winning advantage. If you can just eliminate the destroyer players, most of the time the probability leans in your favor in World of Warships. That's a key component of winning the game. Notice that the daring has smoked up again. He just can't seem to shake us off right now. So all he has to do, all he can really do is turn around and fight. And I think with the low health pool that he has right now, I don't think he'll be able to handle these 127mm guns that are just major a pain for other destroyers players. It was so difficult to dodge against. And here we go. We're spotted. My concealment isn't as great. The daring outspots me, but look, there's nothing he can do. He already popped the smoke. It's on cooldown. But look, we just have, look, our guns got knocked out right there. You got to repair it right away. Otherwise, you have half your firepower knocked down. Des Moines helps us out with killing the daring. Way to go there. Again, helping spotting the destroyers for our teammates right there and eliminating the DD threat. They've already lost half their DDs. They're down. We can continue pushing as well. AA is actually surprisingly good in this match. I would take a look at the AA kills I'm getting on the Druid here, because we're going to go against the impending Zao that's coming up here, as well as take on the Hakuryu mano a mano. So let's see how the AA and actually the guns effectively do well against the cruiser and CV player. And right now we're debating on the Montana. Now, the reason why I'm holding my shot here, so you have a decision to make. Do you want to take damage, or do you want to go after some of the bigger threats in the back? Right now, I think the CV is the biggest threat. The Malta, very difficult to hit and kill, and he's killing our team very, very effectively. And do we want to kill the Montana? Well, right now, the Montana is not really an active threat, just kind of sitting there behind an island and not really being able to shoot much. So we're not going to actually shoot at him. We're going to let him go, and we're going to go after the bigger, juicy target, which is the CV, as well as the Zao in the back, who's actually leaning towards me. I'm not sure what they're saying on the other team, but I bet they're talking, hey, we have a Druid actually in the back that's actually pursuing us, so we might actually want to reprioritize and try to kill this destroyer player that's attacking. So we still have our other destroyer and submarine, so I'm not too worried about him. He's spotting, and the Luchan is spotting for us in the southeastern side of the map, and of course our submarine is doing submarine things. And they pretty much got Bravo cap tags, so we don't need to worry about the caps. We will have the majority of them. We're really more focused on killing maybe 2 of their ships out here, which is probably 20%. Ooh, they lose another destroyer. That means we have it in our favor. We have no other destroyer players. We are roaming free now. We activate our AA and see how much we can kill off their planes right here, and I don't think I did a good job of that one. Now, Zao actually can spot us. He now has a ping on him on the radar of where we're at minimap. Alaska goes down. There's only 5 ships left now, and the Zao is actually kind of leaning towards us. He's kind of debating about, does he want to actually go on with us, or does he want to retreat? But he kind of realizes, I bet, that the game is pretty much over unless he destroys me or at least does something. So I think I'm looking at the minimap right there. His vector line is moving towards us now. Now, the concealment is 6.6. Now, most destroyers are in the range, especially in the Shimakaze range. The Japanese destroyers are around the 5.8, 5.6 range. We have the British destroyers are around, maybe you build it for, the Gearing and Daring are kind of right around the 5.8, 5.9. So they actually do very, very well. I think Daring is 6.0. They do very, very well concealment-wise. We are outspotted by most destroyers. 6.6 is kind of the average. So we don't really have enough room. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and open fire and go loud and see if I can take as much damage, because I know the game is almost over. Why not take this guy out and help my team out? Now, look at that. 2,300 damage on an angled 1,700 on an angled Zao right there. So really, really powerful guns. And see if I can get as much damage as I can down low. And here's another technique right here. I'm going to go slim profile. I'm going to go nose in and go slam on the brakes, and I'm going to pop smoke. And now if he fires, his plume will actually show. So let's see. Hopefully he fires one more time. And he's smart. He elects not to fire. Now, the bad on me. Ooh, I lose my gun right there. 50% down. I don't know how I lost my gun. I don't know what he did right there, but probably secondary. And I forgot that he has Hydra. My bad on not knowing what he had. So you got to basically hit the tab button, highlight that guy's ship, and figure out what he has. So look at with one gun. Let's see what can we do. So I'm seeing if I can get as much damage on the superstructure right here, and then as he goes broadside, see if I can get a citadel damage. But I think like he's got an armored, pretty heavy citadel. So I'm going to aim at the front of his unsaturated nose right there and see if I can get as many as I can. As he gets closer, then I'll start aiming at the center of his hull to see if I can get that nice citadel shot. But unfortunately, no citadels, no cigar right now. We're going to see if we can aim at the nose and get as much damage as we can. 1,500, 1,200. Can we get any more? And right through the middle of the guns, and we survived with 432 health right now. It's a good thing I did not wait to get to the back of his ship. Otherwise, those torpedoes that he has would have been devastating. But right there, one-on-one with the Zao, ladies and gentlemen, and the Druid comes out on top with 432 health left to go. And we literally lost half our guns at one point, twice, and we lose our engine, and we still come out this alive. Now, the CV player is probably the last guy over here. While the battleship on the enemy team goes down. But let's see if we can take on the carrier by ourselves. I hit the wrong button right there. I don't know why I did that, but our health is getting as much health as we can get back to survive the onslaught of airplane attacks that are going to be coming our way as soon as we begin to go loud right here. And we have a almost full health Hakuryu. And let's see if we can kill this guy before the enemy planes start taking us on right here. I think his planes right now are too occupied shooting a battleship in the center. Let's see if we can get as much damage as we can down on the Hakuryu right here. He's going down 2,700 to 1,400 a second. Let's see if that is enough firepower to get him going. Okay, he launches his fighter planes right there, attack planes. He is coming right at us right now. AA is turned on, and see if we can eliminate the planes as much as we can. Let's see how they're doing. AA surprisingly is not bad. It's actually decent enough to do whatever it can, but again, AA is trash in this game. I immediately damage con that fire right away, save as much health. He is now coming back around on my western flank right there, making sure that I make sure the AA is full up on the western, but I almost got this guy. You know what? I'm too preoccupied. Can I get him? Can I get him? Shells in the air. And boom, he goes down. That's our splash 2. CV goes down, and we have now got 156,000 damage at the end there. It looks like we were not doing much, but like I said, it all comes down at the very crucial moments of the game. Hey guys, if you like the video, see value in the like, subscribe button below. Build is at the end of the screen right there. Let's see how we did right there, unlocking the dockyard stuff. And we are number 1 in the team with that kill, the CV player and Zal, and that helped us out a lot, as well as capping for our team. I'm sorry, we didn't cap our team. Those get you more points as well, but just realize if you do cap, you do get points as well. But anyways, we get a lot of damage for there, a lot of XP. I mean, pretty awesome, powerful. I like playing the Druid. It just focused on the old bread and butter, pointy, clicky, and shooting, and just having a blast doing it. Here's the build for the gunboat build that I build with more focus on survivability. But hope you guys are doing well. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what we can do better in the comments below. And as always, you guys stay safe, and we'll see you guys out there. Make sure you say hi if you see me out in randoms. Cheers.